Now, one of the things we did was to ask participants to rank the importance of these elements of a surf tourism trip. And what was really interesting were these. After wave quality, cost and crowding, the destination culture, a pristine natural environment, and the sustainability of the travel business were the next three most important elements of a trip for these participants, ahead of safety, how long it takes to travel there, the quality of the accommodation, whether the surf break was well known, and whether surf guiding services were available. So this was pretty interesting. Now, a number of other questions were analysed and the results broken down across generation. I'm going to move through these fairly quickly, but what is noteworthy is that in almost every case, Generation Y, the millennials, were more concerned about sustainability and more prepared to do something about it than Generation X and baby boomers. So on average, 83.5% of the surf market was concerned about sustainability in surf tourism. This was 87% amongst Generation Y. 96% thought that surf travel businesses should be responsible for the environments in which they operate, again higher in Generation Y. 94% said that surf travel businesses should support local communities where they operate. And this was the same on average across the board, but if you look more closely at the results across the 5-point Likert scale, you see that in terms of strongly agree, the millennials are ahead by several percentage points of their generational peers. 91.5% of respondents thought that surf travel businesses should be undertaking sustainability initiatives. Again, Generation Y ahead by several percentage points, and if you look at this between the strongly agree and agree, you see that the millennials are ahead here even further. 83.5% look to be a sustainable surf traveller when they are travelling. Generation Y, the millennials, are significantly ahead here on average by 8.5%, but again, if you look at the strongly agree, it's almost a 10 percentage point advantage to Generation Y and the millennials. In terms of researching sustainability of surf tourism businesses in the past, 41% of respondents said that they had done this, that they have already researched the sustainability of surf tourism businesses that they've used. If you look at this across the board, Generation Y, the millennials, 11 percentage points ahead on average. In terms of researching the sustainability of surf tourism businesses in the future, 71.5% of respondents said yes, and again, almost 10 percentage points higher for Generation Y. Will sustainability influence the choice of surf tourism business in the future? On average, 69% said yes, almost 10 percentage points higher for Generation Y. We're starting to detect a pattern here. Would you choose a certified sustainable surf resort over one not certified if price and amenities were equal? 91.3% of people said yes, 5 percentage points higher for Gen Y than Gen X. The willingness to pay a certain percentage above non-certified resort prices, 33% were willing to pay more than 10% above an average price for a demonstrably certified sustainable resort. You see a couple of percentage points higher for Generation Y. Interestingly, the boomers came through here as well. Perhaps they have more disposable income and are prepared to spend it. So the study suggests that there does seem to be a case for sustainability certification in the surf travel lodging sector and for surfing destinations in general, and that millennials seem to be particularly receptive to this. Now, Stoke Certified is going after this market in a focused way. Stoke Certified began in 2011. A former student of mine, an intern with the Centre for Surf Research, helped me to develop the original certification standard based on the global sustainable tourism criteria, and upon graduation decided to turn this into a business and asked me if I would join him in that endeavour, and I decided to do that. Stoke is an acronym, Sustainable Tourism Operators Kit for Evaluation, and it's specific to the surf and snow sectors. So we've developed standards for resorts, and we have a event standard. We have a standard for destinations at the level of cities and multiple resorts, and we are working on a surf park standard as well. We have 12 resorts in 6 countries and 1 surf and 1 snow destination now currently in the pilot phase. Mainstream tourism certifications haven't really penetrated consumer consciousness. They have little impact on general tourism demand, but there is a niche that is influenced by sustainability labelling. Mainstream certifications tend to be interested in resorts that have 100 rooms or more, or hotels that have 100 rooms or more, or in international hotel chains where they can sign up multiple properties with very large turnover, and they can guarantee cost savings. They have a relatively small percentage, in the realm of 6 to 8% in terms of efficiencies gained when sustainability certifications are implemented, and this means a lot when you are talking hundreds of millions of dollars. When you're talking about a surf resort, which is almost always small, between 8 and 20 rooms on average, in fragile coastal areas, in remote rural areas of less developed countries, and often adjacent to indigenous communities who are often in cultural decline with very real economic development issues, this becomes less appealing for these mainstream certifications who are really looking to sign up lots of members to do this efficiently and make a lot of money out of it. So there is a gap here for certifications who are interested in outcomes rather than maximizing profit. There is a market penetration advantage in choosing this kind of niche certification. Mainstream certifications are trying to market these to the entire world who may stay at a hotel. It's very difficult to access them in a meaningful way and to communicate with them in a way that feels authentic and that resonates. The global surfing population is rather less diffuse than that of the broader travelling public. Our survey showed that 61% of surfers visit surf forecasting websites at least once daily, 85% visit them at least weekly, and 88% of millennials visit these sites at least once a week. Stoke Certified has been mentioned or featured in articles in 4 articles on these websites. So the opportunity is there to reach the vast majority of the global surfing public through a relatively small number of key websites and publications. The World Surf League is also a way to access much of the world surfing population. For example, the Billabong Pro Tahiti in 2014, which saw very big surf and it was a great competition, broke a lot of internet records in terms of sporting event views. 58 million people watched it on Facebook. The webcast was viewed by 1.9 million and 12 million people watched it on television broadcast around the world. As of September 8th, 2017, the World Surf League has almost 6.5 million likes on Facebook. The estimated global audience of the World Surf League is 125 million. So being able to leverage this platform could be a real way to penetrate that market. And we do that with Stoke Certified. We have member resorts in Hawaii and Fiji that have hosted World Surf League contests. So the Turtle Bay Resort in Hawaii, which is currently on hiatus from Stoke Certified but was previously a certified member, is the host resort of the Triple Crown of Surfing. The Tavarua Resort in Fiji is host to the Fiji Pro. Now, in Fiji, a couple of years ago, an announcement was made during the quarterfinals of the event, which is being broadcast to millions of online viewers. And this is the graphic that came up on the screen, and Ronnie Blakey read through this to the audience, and Stoke was introduced to an audience of millions in the surfing world. So these are the advantages of having a tightly focused niche. In terms of the other forms of surf media, there have been 3 major magazine articles in 2016 written about Stoke and Stoke Certified properties. Stoke Certified was the subject of a popular podcast, The Wire, produced by Firewire Surfboards, one of the world's largest surfboard manufacturers, producing more than 20,000 surfboards a year in 2017. We've also been able to access the market through athlete Instagrams. For example, Kelly Slater, who has almost 2 million Instagram followers, was pictured here holding a co-branded reusable water bottle, with Tavarua's logo on one side and Stoke Certified's on the other. In 2016, we did a survey of 600 surfers that found that Stoke had a 20.5% brand recognition, 21.5% amongst millennials. So Stoke is marketing the ability of its brand to reach millennials, particularly with its snow tourism properties. So the idea of a sustainability certification brand that speaks to the millennial generation and speaks to people within this particular niche in a language that is authentic and that has been developed and produced by people who are passionate about these sports is resonating with the market. And these are the kinds of things that we communicate to the ski and snow sports industry about millennials, and how Stoke Certified can help them communicate with that generation that isn't coming back to the mountain in the way that they would like them to. And that by embracing a sustainability certification that makes them look more closely at their relationship, not just with the environment, but with the culture of the places that they're operating, this is the kind of innovation that will bring millennials back. So, in conclusion, all the indicators point to millennials being underserved in terms of their desire for more transparently sustainable sport tourism offerings. They research sustainability of surf tourism lodging. They want to choose certified sustainable tourism lodging, and they're prepared to pay more for sustainable surf tourism lodging. So there's certainly potential for sustainability certification to drive millennial demand for sport tourism lodging. More research is needed in this area to assess if attractively branded, legitimately robust and transparent sustainability certification does indeed resonate with millennials, and does it translate into increased sales and or satisfaction. From the business end, we already have qualitative results that show that they are very pleased with the systematic process that Stoke Certification lays out for them, and achieves certain efficiencies along the way that are providing a return on investment that is certainly worth the money for the participating resorts. We just need to see this translate into the market and be able to quantify that. So thank you very much for your time. I hope you found this interesting. Though I'm not there, I'd be pleased to answer any questions you might have by email. Thank you again for asking me to participate.